Not that. Good morning, everybody. Well, good afternoon, rather, from here, but in terms of the amount of time I've been awake, it's more of morning, so hello to you all. And it's morning somewhere in the world. So that's what matters, doesn't it? Okay, so we've got a 15-inch. Pretty sure this is 2010. I'll know when I open it up, have a check. And based on the fault description, I'm hoping it's going to be a C9560 issue. There may be some secondary issues in there. I mean, it's not unusual with a machine this age. But we'll get it out and have a look. Hopefully we can restore this back to proper health. It looks nice and clean. That's always good. And yeah, it's a 2850 board, so that's good. Yeah, I'll hopefully fix this up. I can see some other bits and pieces of, you know, random wear and corrosion on here, but whoops, yeah. That's right. I really do not like the way that they do the battery assembly on this one, because you have to risk dropping a screw or sliding a screwdriver onto the contacts of the board before you can actually get the battery properly disconnected. It's rather frustrating. The third one, of course there's 3 screws in the battery pull. This is no 1278. A gem. Q's. Alright, so battery out. Yeah, Q's are. Did you have to do a Face ID flex? That's no good. I've never done one myself, but I do watch plenty of people going through that process. It does not look fun. Evening, Greg. What are you sighing about? And welcome to any new people that have turned up since Lewis Rossman posted my peeing bug video. Picked up a couple of subscribers out of that. Okay, so we've got TX6. Let's go along. Probably more time spent just getting these things apart. At least they're not 1707s or 6s. Hopefully this goes according to plan. It will require a fair bit of testing afterwards though, because it isn't, because it does still sometimes boot and sometimes it'll run for quite a bit of time. It's not really a directly confirmable that you fixed it type fault, unless you're lucky enough that the cap has died so badly that it won't even get to boot to the login screen, but this one isn't that bad yet. Okay. Let's see what else we're missing. I think we've got a stuck down. Yep, it's just a plastic stuck down. Yeah, Andre, it is. It is a good one to start the day on. Okay, so 9560 is right there, but we're going to have a look over and see what else we can find, if there is anything else. Better to look now before we start getting distracted with the job that we're planning on doing. By the way, keep an eye out, see if there's any notable tearing or not notable tearing on the video anymore. I made a change to the frame rates, and I'm kind of hoping that the frame rate change will cause OBS and Linux to behave a little better and not tear so much. It's a bit frustrating when you actually set up OBS according to what it should be. You know, you use the proper native frame rates and it goes and it rewards you by tearing the hell out of everything on a random basis. But if you go and deliberately break the correctness of it, supposedly it can actually fix the issue. So far looking pretty clean there. Nothing too okay, yeah, so we've got some damage down there, so we're going to have to take that speaker assembly off. That cap's just a couple of days or weeks away from really giving us trouble, so we'll get that replaced. I'm hoping I can maybe get this done in place without any extensive flux flowing everywhere and things like that, because I can usually do the 9560 replacement without having to ultrasonic the board. Then again, maybe this board could do with an ultrasonic in general, just to clear away any sort of junk. Yeah, I might do that. Anyway, so here's 9560. We'll get rid of that. Oh, Miles, well, I am usually awake at this hour. I just don't normally do work at this hour, as in I don't normally do board work at this hour. Dun, 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 dun. I need to change my soldering tip. Can't do this very reliably with a micro pencil. Much better to do it with the wholesome chisel tip. Okay, one cap gone. Cues, I don't even use the ones that Lewis uses. I use ceramic replacement ones. Because I find they're a nice direct fit. There's no scraping back, there's nothing. It's just drop it in and go. Yeah, I did this wrong. If you just search for 330 microfarad, 2.5 volt ceramic in a 1210 package, you'll get it. Okay. There, Miles, not a fan of it. It's just too much work. Like I said, it's different if you get a batch of, say, 100 or even a dozen of them, and they all have to be repaired, so it's not so bad then. You can invest the time into working out what's going on and getting used to the board and the disassembly process, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, you can get used to it. But when you see maybe the same laptop once every 3 years, it's very hard to justify it. Yeah, we are going to ultrasonic this one simply because it is a bit dusty and won't hurt to give it some cleaning up. It's probably not a super essential capacitor that we just removed, but yeah, the corrosion was a concern to me, and it looks like it actually has, that corrosion has spread quite a bit. So something did land there, maybe some bug decided to use it as potty land. Oh yeah, hidden screws, yeah, all that sort of stuff. It just adds up to the frustration of working with them. Just trying to get a decent look of what I'm dealing with here. Yeah, Micromage, you're right. It's fun at the start when it's a bit of a challenge and you sort of go, oh, you know, what can I fix this? Can I understand what's going on and all that? But once you actually start running the business and you start focusing on things like how much money am I going to make today, then the fun quickly dissipates and you realize how much of a pointless time sink it is. Even $1,500 PC laptops, it's like, yeah, probably not going to get my money's worth out of repairing this one. So how's the tearing going on the video? Is it behaving itself today? We are probably going to have to hot air this one in. At least with these big tips you can do a bit of scrapey without risking harming them too much. Alright, glad to hear it's much better. Now we need to find out what that cap was. Let's see, what are we looking at? Somewhere down here. I think this is it. One nanofarad. Wow, 50 volts though. Alright, I mean, strictly speaking, you could probably leave that off. But I will go see if I can find a replacement. Probably don't have a replacement directly. Most of my caps usually only go up to about 25 or 30 volts. 25, 100 nanofarad. It's one of those caps that you pretty much could put almost anything in there as long as the voltage rating was 35. 100 nanofarad. I could put 100 nanofarad in there and it wouldn't harm it. Got 10 nanofarad. 100 nanofarad. Well, I am out by an order of magnitude, so I'll have a look at another. I'm sure I've got a 2850 around here somewhere. As a donor, that is. Probably been buried by a million 3115s. Come on, where are you? What's this? 2950. Oh, right. Aha, 2850. There we go. There's our cap. Let's get the hot air on it and get it off. Thanks, Greg. And Jim. And everyone else. And that is that. Realistically, yeah, no, I'm putting in the ultrasonic. I was thinking realistically you could almost get away with still not ultrasonicing this. If you do a bit of cleanup with a Q-tip, wouldn't be so bad. But nope, I will do the right thing. The nice thing is also, if you're ultrasonic when it's already like this and it picks up all this trash here, it does improve the longevity of the board because it prevents clusters of this sort of dust gathering liquid when you go through the various condensation changes and stuff like that, temperature changes. I actually haven't looked under here. Alright, what we'll do is we'll put it into the chassis, we'll boot it, we'll run Valley on it, and then if it passes that, we will disassemble it properly and put it in for ultrasonic. Come on. So many little fidgety flexes and connections. Just going to put a screw into the MagSafe. Makes it easier for me to... come on, there we go. Makes it easier for me to do the testing. Otherwise, if that MagSafe's floating around in that socket, you try to hook it up, and it sort of intermittently connects up, and then you can end up thinking you've got a different kind of fault, but really it's just that cable flip-flopping around. Let's see. I'm just going to leave the hard drive disconnected. Optical can stay on. Backlight for the keyboard. And since we're going to be running the, what do you call it, the Valley test, wouldn't hurt to put some fans on. And just so I don't have an accidental partial connect, which I have had in the past, we're actually going to put some Captain tape over that hard drive connector. Because in the past I have legitimately had scenarios where I put the bottom case on and it connects just enough to start trying to talk to that hard drive, which is really not a good thing, especially not when it's intermittent. Okay, let's go wide. I saw Lewis already has stolen the footage. Probably was more advantageous for him to do it than myself. Okay. Well, nothing. Well, that makes no sense at all. Wonder if it's this. What is going on? Alright, let's get the chipmunk, and the chipmunk might tell us if there's something going on. Chipmunk doesn't want to fit in. Chipmunk says it's alive. Huh. The only trouble here is sometimes there's not enough clearance between, because this has got a little bit of a thumb selector on it, there's not enough clearance between that and the chipmunk for me to see both at the same time. So I just have to put this on a small extension. Well, I'm left-handed, so... Besides, everyone else wears out the left-hand option key, so I'm going to wear out the right-hand one. Seems fair, doesn't it? Equality. There's probably no bong because, remember, the speaker has been taken out. I know I've had some people tell me that the right option key won't work for that sort of thing, you have to bring up the boot selection, but it definitely does. Come on, hurry up. It's probably a little bit sluggish too because it's going through the hub. Miles, that's pretty crazy that they would do it that badly, but you're right, it's amazing how many times they will put ports together that you can't use concurrently. It is loading, it's just taking a while. There we go. It'll be more to do with the hub and port than it has with the machine. That's interesting, it actually retained the date and time correctly. Hey Prater, yes it has been a while. What have you been up to? It could also be the lack of the battery in there is making it want to run a bit slower. Anyway, let's launch up Valley. One day we'll get there. I'm kind of curious. I'm going to move the OBS window to another screen and see if tearing starts. Okay. Alright, let's say run. Hey RTC, sort of arrived here at the tail end of everything. Oh yeah, that frame rate. 10 frames per second? We'll see if it is using the GPU. Displays. And yeah, it's currently using the GT330, so that is in fact working. But yeah, it's just a bit sluggish. Like I said, I'm not sure whether that's because there's no battery in there or not. But everything seems to be running quite okay now, so GPU core voltage is looking pretty steady. 0.9. I think we've got it fixed. Yeah. I'll put that battery back in and see if we can at least get up a little bit more into closer to 20 frames per second, particularly being a GT330. I mean, it's not the world's greatest GPU, but I'm fairly sure it should do a bit better in this test. Miles, I actually do get them. I've got quite a few of them, but I leave them for the customer backup jobs. I really genuinely find this perfectly fine. These are good just to have lying around. Alright, I'm happy with that. So we'll shut that down and that's it. This will go into the ultrasonic, and then we'll do another extensive test after the ultrasonic and drying and all that sort of stuff. So I am out of here. Thought I'd just give you guys a Daystar version of the repairs, since I know there's a few extras of you around. And I don't know, maybe I'll have something more tonight, but if it is tonight, I will probably just be doing more 1466s. So one of the 1466s that we did the other night, the one that had a lot of corrosion on it, it was dead again when I took it out of the ultrasonic tank, so that one's going to become a donor parts board. If they don't maintain their operational stability after the ultrasonic and drying, then I sort of consider it a bit of a sign that I shouldn't be using it as a backup board or a replacement board. It sort of means, okay, there's stuff, niggly stuff going on, you might not be able to find it, so don't waste your time. It would probably just create another bouncing job, and we don't want that. So, alright, I am out of here. You'll take care. I'll see you next time.